Another day, another race recap. This time it was 70.3 Chattanooga, which I thought for months was going to be my first podium, but it wasn't meant to be. I came in 5th place with a time of 3:13 something or other, something like that. And yes, it's a very fast time because there was no swim. Yeah, it was a duathlon. It was a bike run. It was a time trial start. And you might think, oh, no swim. Ari's going to love that. That is perfect. He should win the race. Wrong. There's a lot that goes into the dynamics of these races. And like in theory, being a poor swimmer shouldn't hurt you as much in triathlon as it does. And the reason it hurts you so much is because you miss out on pack dynamics on the bike. And unfortunately, taking out the swim of a triathlon and starting everyone 15 seconds apart on the bike, 40 guys, 15 seconds apart, just boom, 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 go, does not eliminate the pack dynamics. But I'm going to start with the travel, which was pretty terrible. Thursday morning, the race is Sunday, so Thursday morning in Seattle, I had a 2:30 a.m. alarm and drove to SeaTac, had a flight to Charlotte, and then a 3-hour layover in Charlotte, go to Atlanta, and then car rental in Atlanta and drive 2 hours to Chattanooga. And I stopped to run a little bit, run an easy 10K on the way to sort of break up the drive and get something in that day. So it was, yeah, pretty much all day travel, and it kind of cooked me. And I felt really tired on Friday, a little bit better on Saturday. Honestly, I felt a little bit flat. I wasn't too worried about the race because I feel like I've had so many, I was like so confident that it doesn't matter how I feel at all. Because literally every single session in this block, it didn't matter if I felt great or I felt bad. I like ran really fast and pushed great power for like every bike and run session. So the travel was not great, and if I could go back and do it again, I honestly would spend an extra, $300 or $400 on better flights, and flying directly into Chattanooga instead of the roundabout cheaper travel that I did, because I think I would have made my money back and more if I had done that. So something to think about for the future, sort of like cost benefit analysis type thing with racing. And so race recap, the race itself. So I mentioned that the swim was, hold on. He's what? He's been on it for 3 days? Hold on, I'll be right over there. Dude, your fiance called and she said you've been on this rower for 3 days straight? You need to get off right now. Like, you have a job. Like, what are you doing?
I can't, dude. I can't stop. It's so fun. I want to stop, but I can't.
You have a problem and you need to stop.
I know, dude. I know. I just can't fathom the thought of working out on anything except the Aviron Strong Series rower.
I mean, I get it. I was addicted once too. I mean, it turns exercise into something you actually enjoy. The gameplay is immersive, and clearly it's hacked your dopamine system because you have been on this thing for 3 days straight. It's literally insane.
It's just so accessible, dude. I mean, look at this seat.
Yes, I know the cloud seat is wide and ergonomic and promotes proper form.
And I mean, just look at the foot pads.
I know. The foot pads are easily adjustable and accommodate everyone in the household.
And don't even get me started on the training stimulus.
Yes, it activates 86% of muscles for a full body, low impact workout. But dude, you gotta stop. How about this? Aviron also makes a treadmill and a stationary bike. Maybe we can get one of those and wean you off of this rowing machine.
Really? You would do that for me?
Yeah, man, you know I'm here for you, and you can use my discount code ARI50 or scan the QR code to get $50 off any Aviron product to save some money.
Wow, that's awesome.
All right, man, let's put the Aviron's compact design and upright storage to good use and put this thing away. Anyway, the race recap. Swim was canceled because it had been storming in Chattanooga for weeks in the lead into this race, which meant that the water level in the river was super high. And the Ironman has like a rate for, the flow rate, the cubic feet per second in the river, above which they cancel the swim because it's unsafe and they can't get their like safety kayaks and stand-up paddle boards and all that stuff safely in the water. And if someone were to have an issue in the swim, it would impact their ability to provide help. So swim was canceled on Friday, 2 days out from the race. And that meant that on Saturday at the pro briefing, we picked ping pong balls out of a bag. And there were like 46 pro males, so 46 ping pong balls, each of them with a number on them. And I picked number 2. So I was going off second. And pretty much everyone else of note in the race was going off somewhere in the middle. And I didn't really think about that too much because it's out of my control. So from there, my race plan was, let's ride really, really hard. Number one, pass the guy who goes off first, 15 seconds ahead of me, as quickly as possible, and just get out into the lead and make sure you don't see anybody all day. Because, if Jackson Laundry, who started like 2:30 behind me, catches me, then I have to run 2:30 back into Jackson Laundry. A little bit of foreshadowing there. Yeah, on race morning, they sent me off. There was no gun. There was just a guy standing there saying, go. And so I went, and my 1 minute peak power was like 430 something watts the first minute of the race, just like immediately getting after it. I passed Matt McWilliams, who went off first 3 or 4 minutes into the race. I'm almost embarrassed to admit this, but I did lose a bottle. I feel like everyone always loses a bottle. I have gorilla cages. It's like, maybe I need gorilla cages and rubber bands and stuff, but I lost a bottle going over these like insanely exposed, like I swear it was like that high off the ground, railroad tracks where pretty much everyone lost a bottle. It wasn't just me, but so I lost a bottle and was a little bit short on carbs on the bike, but I don't know. I'm not really like using that as much of a sandbag. I think my main mistake was I rode just way too hard for the first hour of the race. The first like 30 minutes, I was normalizing like 375 watts, something like that. And then it settled a little bit, and I was still averaging, I think 346 and like 352 normalized around 1 hour. And at that point, I was pretty much riding even with Sam Long. Like Sam Long and Jackson Laundry both biked 156 high. I ended up biking 159, 57, so still sub 2, but I was even with those guys basically, I was like 6 seconds behind Sam Long at like 40K into the race. So I was riding really, really well, but definitely above myself, and it came back to bite me. And the second hour of the bike, I lost 3 minutes to both of those guys, Sam and Jackson, and averaged like 317 watts for that. So I ended up on the bike averaging 329 watts, which ties my power PB pretty much exactly from 70.3 main last year, but I did it in a much harder, much stupider way. Yeah, that left me onto the run. So Jackson Laundry caught me like a mile to go in the bike. I was cooked by then. I couldn't even stay on his wheel. And came out ahead of me in transition, and then I was like, okay, so I need to run 2.5 minutes back into Jackson, because I'm pretty sure that's the time he started behind me. And so I passed him back pretty quickly. I guess he's been struggling with an injury, so partially I thought maybe I was just running really well. It turns out he was running not as fast as he usually does when he's fit, but passed him back pretty quick, and I was in the lead the rest of the race, which was tough. I got a sense of what it's like to be a good swimmer, finally, and I hated it. That sucks. It is so much more fun to hunt. So it was a tough run. I was like on 110 pace early, or 109 pace early, and then it slowed to 110. And then I just kept looking at my watch, and I was running as hard as I could, just hanging on for dear life. And my legs were just smashed. It is hard to smash your legs like that in training. And so it's hard to replicate that sort of stimulus in training. And it was tough. So I ran 112 high, and my last 5K was the slowest by far. My thoughts on the race are, I was hoping for more, in terms of placement. And, you know, I was a minute 57 behind second place. So that's probably the closest I've ever been. It's the closest I've ever been to being on the podium, and it's the closest I've ever been to being second. Probably the closest I've been to being first, too. I feel like for so long I was looking at this race as being my, like, all right, let's get on a podium. Let's prove that you are a legitimate professional triathlete on the North American circuit, and you can go toe-to-toe with anybody. And it didn't quite end up being that. I think if I were more experienced, I probably would have finished better. I think I rode way too hard just out of insecurity the first 20, 30, 60 minutes of the race. And yeah, I think I could have gotten a better result if I had done things differently. Obviously I know that now, looking back. But I'm not upset with the way I raced and the result I got, because I feel like the outlook is so overwhelmingly positive, right? Like, start out the year with 9th at Oceanside. It's like, people who know that that's a really, really good result. But it goes a little bit under the radar because it's like 9th place in a race. People don't really look that far back. And then 5th at Chattanooga, I think, is the same. It like really goes under the radar. But when you look at the guys who finished 1st through 4th, it's like, it's all world-class guys. And I can't really be too upset that I didn't beat any of those 4. And also just knowing that I literally have the legs to, at least, most people can't ride with Sam Long for half of a 70.3. Like, they physically could not do it. Or maybe they could, but they're walking the half marathon. I did it and blew up a little bit, but still pushed almost 320 watts for the next hour, and then ran a 1:12 half marathon. It's like, I'm pretty proud of myself for getting to that level, and it's really only 8 to 12 to 18 months of more training before I go and I literally just go toe-to-toe with Sam Long in this race. Swim or no swim. Doesn't matter. I'm so confident about that. So, 5th place, I wish I was on the podium, but I'm really not disappointed with how the race went at all. Because in doing the race the way I did, stupid, I think I learned some things that I never would have learned, and so I'm glad I did. And there is plenty of time ahead to race conservative and race smart and race like a seasoned veteran. I want to give a shout out to Hoob for the awesome kit, and DT Swiss, my wheel sponsor. The wheels are really fast, and I proved that the first 45K of the race, riding even with Sam Long. You can't just push power to do that. You have to be on a good setup. So I'm thrilled to be riding DT Swiss. And of course, Blank Sports Nutrition, which was in my bottles, one of which went down the hatch and one of which went on the side of the road. Best fuel in the game. Use my discount code. I get some commission on that, which would really help me a lot. And then also Nerd Belts. I wore my Nerd Belt on the run. I pretty much never run without it. It's just such an integral part of my training. Also have a discount code that I get commission for on Nerd Belts. So if you don't run with hydration and nutrition, definitely something you should consider getting. It's a really awesome product. I use it every day. Up next for me, Ironman Lake Placid. For a long time, I have dreamed of the full distance, kind of in the back of my head, and a lot of times being no, I don't want to do it. I just want to focus on 70.3, whatever. But I just couldn't, the beginning of this year when me and my coach Jack were talking about the races we should target, it was all 70.3s, and I was down with it. And then I just went back and messaged a couple days later. I was I feel like I just I have this itch. I really just want to do Lake Placid. And he was like, oh, well, if it motivates you, let's do that. Let's put it on the schedule. And then pretty much immediately it became the thing that both of us, athlete and coach, were excited about all year. Literally into Oceanside, into this race, Chattanooga, it was all yeah, we're targeting these races, but really it's Lake Placid. And part of that is just he feels, and I'm starting to believe, that the full distance is where my true potential lies. And so we will find out on July 20th. But between now and then, there's going to be a lot of crazy long runs on your Sunday Strava feed. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching, everybody. And we're going to see what we can do over a marathon off the bike. I'm not going to limit myself. No limits. All right, peace out, everybody.